Okay, now you both mentioned housing, trying to keep a roof above your head. Is there anything that's sticking out for you from the party's platforms, Cole?
Yeah, so something that I've noticed across all the platforms is that there's a lack of generational fairness. So policy decisions consistently prioritize older generations without adequately investing in the needs of younger ones. And so what we're not asking for the older generations to lose or not get the funding that they need. We're asking for a future that's fair and one where the next generation has the same shot that our parents did at a stable, secure life. So, for example, currently the federal budget's new spending for old age security is 71 billion, whereas housing and post-secondary is only 6 and 5 billion respectively. And you can see clearly through this that younger generations are not being invested in. So that's what I've seen throughout the platforms is that younger generations are not being invested in and politicians aren't speaking to younger voters in their platforms.
Jessica, what about yourself? Is there anything in any of the platforms that addresses that question of generational fairness that Cole has raised?
Yeah, I'd actually completely agree with what Cole said. I think a lot of what we're hearing is focused on maybe older generations and not really putting, young voters, which are so important in this election, at the forefront and really addressing some of their struggles. It's wild when I think about myself in my 20s. I was really concerned about housing, and it is so disheartening that not only is that still a concern, but the concern has grown, and the issues and affordability is so much more out of grasp than it was for myself when I was, just a young post grad. What I do feel like is a lot of the things that we're hearing is that, oh, we're going to address this has to do with home ownership, which is absolutely important, but there's not as much conversation about renting. Rent, there's, obviously depends on what province you live in, but sometimes there's a lack of, stability when it comes to raising rents, making that more unaffordable, pushing certain people, out of maybe the cities because they can't afford it and having to move out. There absolutely needs to be, I think, more affordability and policies in regards to that because not everyone wants to own or can afford to own, and so but we still need to make renting affordable as well.